So, hey everybody, Cindy Shoemaker here with another interview today. And today I've got Lois with me, and she attended my recent workshop on anger. And she's here to share her experience, which I cannot wait to hear about her pre and post workshop experiences. So, Lois, thank you so much for joining me today.
Cindy, thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Oh, I love having you here. So let's just start off by explaining to everybody what made you decide to attend that anger workshop. I mean, I know I extended the invitation to you, but really what made you decide to attend?
Well, I had known you for a minute before.
Mhm.
We had met maybe once a year for a couple of years, and you always have something, something calm and some a calmness and a confidence. And we know throughout the years that I want what you want when I see you live it.
Mhm.
So when you extended the invitation to me, I was like, I would be a fool to not jump on this.
Oh.
And I have dealt with anger for a very long time in my life. And if there was a way out of that, because anger was always my go to emotion, um, it's exhausting and tiresome. And I want out of that. And I had high hopes and expectations that you would lead the way for that.
So was there anything particular that was going on in your life at the time that you attended this workshop, or was it just, an overall feeling of anger?
An overall feeling of anger. It didn't take much to make me angry, and I could get angry at any situation and bring it home and take it out on my husband. Of course, he was the prime target and the prime source. But if somebody cut me off on the highway, I was mad and I'd come home, rah, 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 that type of stuff. So it was almost all I felt, anger and sadness. So
So did you feel that anger and sadness? Did you feel that in your body? I mean, I
yes,
would get stressed. I feel it in my stomach. So how did anger show up for you?
well, definitely in the stomach, acid reflux for years. You
Hmm.
can't take enough antacids. You can't take the pills because then you get osteoporosis. You have no bone density left. Been dealing with that forever.
Hmm.
Always stomach, headache, um, sore muscles, neck, shoulders up to the ears type
Hmm.
stuff. Neck is a major source of pain, um, physical pain. I mean, physical pain and absolute like nausea, diarrhea, things like that. Don't always recognize that it's from the anger
Hmm.
until you take a step back. And um, those things are really changing these past couple weeks. They
Because
really are.
it's been a couple weeks since the
Yes,
workshop.
since the workshop. Yeah,
So
yeah.
had you
She
tried to fix this in the past? Had you tried to work on it, or is it just something you accepted as it just is?
I think I don't remember ever really trying consciously to um, to find tools to do things. I mean, in the course of life, I have my faith and I pray and things like that, and all of that is very important to me. But to actually recognize it and realize that I had some sort of control over that was a real eye opener for me. I You said something to me a couple of weeks ago. I don't Not directly to me, but well, it was to me, but in general, you said um, that if we let this control us, we're a victim. And I am not a victim. I do
That's
not
right.
want to be a victim, and I do not want to be led by this because it's turned into a I'm mad at somebody or upset with someone, and it's turned into like a big stinking monster that controls life and friends and people and relationships. And it's really incredibly ugly, and it's an ugly way to live.
It is. But until people know that there's other options, they don't know what they don't know. And you were in that same position.
And that's true. And that's
Mhm.
true. And one of the major things I will share right now is that you have this uncanny knack of saying the most simple things that are like such an aha moment, um, that one sentence can be life changing.
Mm.
And I thank
That's
you for
powerful. That is powerful.
and the whole situation is powerful. When I think of you saying about, do I want to be a victim, I'll fight my way out of that one.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, so it's one little word or one little sentence can really make a difference. And there was more than one little word or sentence in the 75 minutes that I mean, that's just unbelievable.
That's all it
Unbelievable.
was. That workshop was 75 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And normally when I work with clients one-on-one, it's a full 2 hour session. So this was like a brief little mini session of what I normally do. So the changes you got in the 75 minutes was absolutely astounding. So when I invited you to this workshop, what were you hoping to achieve by the end? Did you have anything in mind, or you had no idea what to expect?
I had no idea what to expect, but I promise you, I did not expect the results that I received. Um, from the invitation to the, yes, I would love to do that, to the workshop, I tried very hard to open myself up to whatever it might be. Um, and when now we're acquaintances, but friends on a level of sharing is, we've never gone there because we're
Correct.
acquaintances.
Mhm.
And you said there would be other people there, and I was like, I'm going to be like showing my guts here to people I don't even know. What are they going to do with it? What are they going to say with it or about it? So I talked to myself and I was like, it really doesn't matter. It needs to go. And if I can let it go, and I don't know how you can do what you said you could do, but you said you could do it, and I'm going to try to focus on that. So I don't know what I expected. I hoped to feel better, I think. But I didn't expect a 3-story building to be released from my shoulders. So, and that's kind of what it felt like, after. It was like I put my anger level at like a 3. I don't know if I've ever been at a 3 before because I've always had some sort of something gurgling up inside of me, um, waiting for the next explosion,
Because
is what it.
I think when we started working together, that workshop, I think, because I always have you rate your anger or whatever we're working on 0 to 10. And I think you were definitely at a 10 when we
Mhm.
started working on it, right?
And remember, I told you as we tapped through stuff, I saw the numbers going down 2 at a time.
Hmm.
And I was like, this is so bizarre. I didn't know how much I was feeling. I knew what I was seeing in my mind. And then my feelings and emotions followed those numbers, which was really kind of bizarre. I don't know how to explain that,
I know you can't.
but whatever it was, I'm okay with it because it worked me down to a very comfortable, manageable number. Um, I think at even one point these past couple weeks, I talked myself into a flat out 0 and, just really calm and relaxed more than I have ever been for many years.
Wow. In 75 minutes. And part of that
Yes.
75 minutes was um, the first part of that workshop was just an introduction on talking about anger. So we really
Yes.
didn't get into working with you solidly for the first
No.
15 to 20 minutes of the workshop.
But what you did in the first part of it made me feel more comfortable and more, have more ability to be more open and to go. And one thing I wanted to thank you for is when we went to, um, where you knew we were going to a deeper spot than I knew where we were going. But when we went there and you gave me a moment to sit with that and reflect, and a moment to write down some things, and you didn't push, now, like, tell me what just happened. You just said, how do you feel?
Mhm.
So I didn't have to share or explain
Right.
anything. And that was, and some people might have a fear of, well, I'm going to have to tell her where I went and what I thought and what happened. That's not an issue. It's all here in me. You just lead me to the place and I deal with it. You don't even have to know what's going on. You
Exactly.
just know something's going on.
Yeah, because you're doing it all up here.
Yeah,
And like I said, I just hold that safe space
and you did.
while you heal that part of you. And I don't need to know what that part is. As long as you know what it is, that's how you
Yeah,
get the changes.
yeah.
Because you're
But
making
how
the changes inside of you.
I know, and how you lead somebody down that road is amazing. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it was down a road that I had not been to for maybe ever, maybe ever. But the opening was there and the opportunity was there. And when I committed to doing this, I wanted to do the best I could for me. Um, and you made that possible with it being, when you just use the term safe space.
Safe space. That's right.
And what's really funny is safe space, and we're recording. Who knows who's going to see this when, right?
Right?
But it's still a safe space. I still don't have to get personal
No.
or, whatever. I know what happened, and it was amazing.
No
Really.
one knows your details, but I think what people will be able to do is be able to resonate with just the feelings and the emotions. Because I can have 10 angry people in front of me and they all have different avenues of how they got to that anger.
Yeah.
And what's important is the feelings, the byproducts of that anger, not actually what happened. So people don't need to know what happened. They just need to know that what they're feeling is what you felt and probably what the other person felt as well. So nobody's ever alone. Because a lot of times I think people think, am I the only one that feels this way? And you're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody feels the same way. You just have different ways of getting there.
Yeah. I think we do feel like we're alone sometimes,
Yep.
or like if anybody knew how angry I was, nobody would want to be around me, or, all that stuff.
Sure. Sure, but you're just human and that this is what happens in life. And
Mhm.
until we know how to deal with it or have somebody help us get over that hump of how to deal with it, you just again you don't know what you don't know.
Right. And the one thing I want to honestly, absolutely remember is, um, that there is a way, and there is something that I can do about it. And my word for the year is choose. So all I have to do is choose to use what you have given me.
Great.
And it's definitely life changing.
Oh, wonderful. So at the beginning of the workshop, you were at a 10 plus, probably.
Yes.
So by
Yes.
the end, you said you were what, at a 3?
Three.
And you
Mm-hmm.
felt comfortable with that because you'd never
Very,
been at a 3 before, right?
yeah, I don't ever remember being at a three before to be that. And I didn't feel like it was a three without setting with, what's going to happen next. It was a three with the knowledge that I had that whatever happened next, I can do something about it.
Right. I gave you guys tools during that
Yes.
workshop that you can use to work on yourself.
Yes. Incredible tools. Yeah. Power
Life-changing tools.
has the power is in me.
Absolutely. That's what I want everybody to understand is the power is within you because prior to that workshop, it felt, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but maybe felt out of control. You didn't know what to do with it. And
100%.
and
Well,
until somebody tells you differently,
yeah.
you know.
Well, you can get so deep in your anger or your emotions or whatever that even if there's a way out, you can't see it, or at the moment when you're there, you don't know, you don't care.
Right.
But when you take that conscious choose when I choose to take this class and I choose to give it the best that I can give it, then I feel that change. And then I want that. Where maybe
Absolutely.
I didn't even want it before because I got so used to my other, my anger and my emotions and things. Maybe it's not what we want, but it's comfortable. That's where
That's what I was
yeah,
just going to say. It feels comfortable, like that old pair of shoes that you put on over and over again because they're comfortable and you don't know
that's
any
it.
different.
100%. That's
Hmm.
exactly what it felt like. So,
So, what's the
um,
last couple weeks post workshop been for you?
it has been comfortable with a 3 because it feels so good. I've actually kind of snuggled into the relaxed muscles and the
Mm.
things. Um, I've had some issues. Husband and I had a couple of conversations. I'll use that term. Um, and then when I went for several days, it was everything was good. I stayed like at a 3 and I was calm and I was happy and I was feeling good. And then, of course, some buttons got pushed and went to a 5. And then I was like, I don't like this. I'm going to go back where I was. Shocked my husband to death. We were having a strong conversation and I looked at him and I took a deep breath in and let it out. And I said, peace. And I looked at him and I said, you know what? I'm not going to talk about this right now. We'll discuss this later when I'm not upset. I turned and walked out of the room. And then I went into the other room and I relaxed a little bit and I took some deep breaths and I calmed down. I was like, I am not going to let anyone take this away from me. I'm not giving this up. I'm not. So, so basically the last couple of weeks with him, that was it. Today, I use that term loosely for my brother-in-law. I change his bed sheets, do some laundry, and clean his bathrooms. Is what
Mhm.
I do because he's a pig. You can't clean, you can't clean clutter, period. And that's his life. But there was more when I went today. And I asked him, I mean, like piles and bags of newspapers. And it's just like, can I just take these to recycle? No, he's got to cut an article out, whatever. And I felt my anger like escalating. And funny, I was just like, okay, I don't even know why I let myself go there because it never changes. And it's not going to. Um, so I was still working on the bedroom and I went in there and I sat down on the bed and I closed my eyes and I went to my happy place and I took a deep breath in and out and said peace and I started tapping and I bet I sat there on his bed for 10 minutes and I am going to release and let go. I am not responsible for this. I cannot change him. I cannot control this. And I got down to a 3 or a 2 or whatever. I got up, finished my work, and I said, I'll see you next week. So now see, prior to this, I would have taken this, brought it home. And when I came into the kitchen and my husband had a mess on the kitchen counter, there would have been World War III.
Mhm.
So it's like amazing. And I want to keep doing that.
Keep doing the work. Keep
Yes.
working on yourself
Yes.
because
Because I
you're in
know,
control now.
yes,
Today
the
just showed
world,
you are in control,
the world is not going to change to make me happy.
right? We are 100% responsible for our own happiness in our own
Yes.
life.
Yes, we are. And that's a powerful thing and it feels good. I like power and I like control. I don't know why I gave it away.
Right. We don't
But
realize that we give it away until somebody points it out to us. And we're
yeah.
like, wait, I'm not
And
giving my
I don't,
power away.
it's like, I didn't give my
Wait,
power away. What are you talking about? I'm a strong person. I'll
that's
kick your
right.
butt.
I am taking my power back.
Yes. Yes, I
And that's
am.
exactly what you've done.
Taking it back for me. And that's not being selfish.
No, not at all. Not being selfish at all. So has your body, have you, when you're talking about all those feelings and symptoms you had before, have those settled down?
They have. Yes, they
Great.
have. Don't have as much stomach issues. The acid reflux has settled out. Now, that's going to take some healing physically.
Sure.
I get that. The muscles in the neck and the shoulders. Now, I still have some neck pain right here, but that's some arthritis and stuff. So,
Mhm.
dealing with that, trying to get movement and muscle strength and things like that. Shoulders down and relaxed, more deep breathing than I've ever done before in my life because it's just very calming,
Very
when
calming.
you,
That's right.
yeah. So yes, the physical body resting better. When I was over at my brother-in-law's today and sit down and tapped and whatever, when I finally took my last moment with doing that, got up and started yawning, and I was like, okay, I got there. I
You
got
know
there
what?
because
Because you know what yawning means, right?
yes, yes, it's like it means that something is balancing,
Yep.
reconnecting, and I am good.
That's good.
So, yeah, so that was my first since the workshop. That was my highest anger emotion since the workshop.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's the highest I've ever been at, but it's since the workshop it was.
Hmm.
But as I was simmering and going to a full boil, that's when I just stopped and went into the other room. And I knew that I could go in there and work because I was cleaning. I could go in there and work and stew and carry on, or I could sit down on the bed and take back control. And I chose to do that
That's what you did.
because your plan, your healing, your whatever, what the tools and information you gave me works.
Mhm.
And if it worked in that situation this morning, I'll be hard pressed to find a situation it's not going to work in if I choose to grab it.
Exactly. Be self-aware of when it's
Yes.
creeping up,
Yes.
and self-awareness is the first big step, is to go, oh, it's happening, and it's going
Mm-hmm.
to happen again. I mean, life
Yes.
happens. I always say life happens every day, all day long. We can't
Right.
stop it. So there's going to be other times, but now you know that you have tools to take control because you've already done it.
Yes. Yes. And it's
Yay.
amazing. And
It
I
is
love it.
amazing.
Yeah. And I
It,
thank you again for what you do.
I love doing what I do because the part that I like is being able to show people that they can take their power back, um, and that they are in control of their emotions more than they've ever known that they are.
Mhm.
And that in itself is very empowering. And I don't want people to keep coming back to me for more sessions and more sessions. My goal is I want to hold the safe space. I want you to start the healing process. I will give you tools, and I would like to kick you out of the nest and set you on your way. And if you need me, you need me. And if you don't, that's wonderful. That's
Mhm.
wonderful. So,
And see, that is very evident in what you do because you didn't do this. You presented this. I don't know if I'm putting that in the right words, but you laid it out there for me to take or leave
yep.
and showed me how to take it to make a different life. So anybody listening to this, whoever's listening to this and you try this, you're going to have to do the work,
Yeah,
but it's worth it. It's
absolutely.
worth it. Yeah,
Absolutely. You have to I put those training wheels on and set you
you
on your
did.
way, and then
Yes.
you learn how to do it yourself. But you do.
Yes.
I always say you have to show up for yourself persistently and consistently. You have to do the work. It's like having an exercise bike or a treadmill. You're not going to get in shape by letting it sit over in the corner. You got to
So
use it.
that's the key to that, huh?
You got to use it.
But use stars for a clothes hanger,
I think
when the
most people
closet's
do.
overflowed.
But yeah, and this is no different. It's a tool. You got to use it. It's
And
emotional
it's
hygiene, like brushing your teeth every day.
oh, I like that emotional hygiene
Emotional hygiene.
because that makes it something we're going to pull out on a regular
Yeah.
basis.
Because I always
But
say,
when
when you go to the dentist and have your teeth cleaned, you don't not brush your teeth until you go back in 6 months, right? Because that would be a mess.
you keep the
You
maintenance.
keep the maintenance, and this is no different than that.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
tools I give are simple, things that you can use every day, being self-aware, tap a little bit every day. It's not expansive or extensive. You can make it what you want to make it.
Hmm.
Yay! So what would you say?
Amazing.
What would you say to people who might be putting off fixing their problem and frustrations? Because
Okay.
you had this anger for a long time.
Okay. Um, I wrote down a little note here for this. The one thing I would say to people is to face your issues as soon as you can. Um, Life really is, it can be better. We know that we're not going to change the people in our life. We know that.
Mhm.
But to make that a more comfortable um, home or work environment or whatever, if you do the work on you, then you don't have to worry about them. And if you can grab a hold of this, because it is so simple yet so profound, and I promise that you will be led to a place that will be life changing if you open yourself up to it.
Right.
And it's not hard, and it's not scary, and it's not mean, and it's not self condemning. It's so far from that. It's empowering. And it's like a ray of sunshine in the world that you didn't even know was there. So I would say run to a workshop.
Run to a workshop.
Hmm.
Yes. Yes. And even
Yes.
the workshops I've had in the past, people can still access those and purchase those and get the same results that you did. So if somebody's having anger issues and would like to purchase the replay of the anger workshop, they can, and they can go through that same exercise that I took you through, and they'll see me coaching you in that and holding that
Hmm.
safe space for you, but they can do it right along with you in the comfort of their own home.
Yes. And
Wonderful.
it's amazing. It's
Thank
amazing.
you. Thank you
You're
for sharing your experience. This has been wonderful.
Well, you are so welcome. Thank you for the workshop. Thank you for keeping me aware, alert of what is happening. This is a way I want to remain. I want to remain with this these tools and this ability in the forefront of my mind. I don't want to lose this.
Right,
I don't
right,
want to lose it.
right.
So
That's why we all support each other. And I'm always here
yes,
whenever you need me.
wonderful. That's good to know.
I'm always here. I ain't going nowhere.
I've been doing your Sunday night Facebook lives, and they're incredible. Last night was really good.
Those button pushers, right? That's what we
Those
worked on last night. Button
Yes,
pushers
button pushers.
and
Yeah, we
those
all have
triggers.
one
We
or
all
10 of
have them.
those, don't we?
Absolutely. And thank
Yeah,
you for showing up and being there during my lives.
those are really helpful along the way, and keeps you immersed in what's happening.
Yeah,
And like you said, even if you're not doing this for a button pusher, if you're doing this for physical pain or some other reason, you can still work your way through that with your own, because everybody that was on that live last night, they had their own issues. It wasn't just focused on, Charlie or Sam or George as my
right.
button pusher. They all had their own issues, and
Yep.
it just opens it up to freedom, to what I need.
Yeah. I think many people need, and a lot of times people just don't even realize that they
And I
need it.
think you're right.
Hmm.
And a lot of people probably are not really sure that it'll make any difference,
Right. I agree with you.
but it really does make a difference.
It's hard for me to explain to people what this work is all about because until
Yes,
you experience it and you've gone through it, it's hard to explain to somebody.
it really is, because it's emotional.
Hmm.
And you can't think or feel the way someone else feels, and you can't feel someone else's pain. You can feel your own, but you can't feel theirs.
Right.
Um, so it's emotional, and it's so personal that there's not words that explain or fix or change.
I know. And
It
sometimes it's
it
scary to
comes,
go to those dark places, isn't it?
yeah, oh yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Thank you very much. But no,
But
the
you went
trip
there and
was
you
worth it.
survived.
Yes, the trip was worth it. And when the second part of that workshop, I was totally unprepared for going in that situation and having that kind of an outcome. Um, didn't even realize, didn't even realize anything was there. So
Sometimes
that's,
I have magical questions that kind of pull those things out of you.
you really did. And I was like, okay.
But
Again, before we started, I promised myself that I was going to be open, honest, and go with whatever. And I think that's part of it too. If someone's going to do this, really do it.
yeah,
You're going to get your best benefit, and it'll be so worth it.
absolutely.
And nothing
Absolutely.
gets written up in the paper the next day, I promise. I'm living proof.
Not at all. Oh, Lois, thank you so much for taking the time to share your experience and share with others, because I'm sure there's other people out there that need to hear your message that there is hope when you feel hopeless or when you feel overwhelmed. There is hope.
There is hope. Thank
There's,
you. Thank you very much for having me, Cindy. I really appreciate it.
you're very, very welcome.